A few years ago, a very interesting theory circulated on Reddit and other internet forums claiming that Ultron was actually preparing to face Thanos. So today, we're going to take a look at this theory and see what clues can be found, if any, that could prove this theory. Ultron is an artificial intelligence that was created and modified by Tony Stark. It was acquired from Loki's scepter where the Mind Stone was found. Ultron was created to protect the planet Earth and later came to the conclusion that the only way to protect the planet was to destroy the Avengers and the human race. So how was it that Ultron was preparing for Thanos' eventual arrival? In the movie Infinity War, there is a scene in which Thanos is throwing a giant moon or stone towards the Avengers. Thanos in those moments has with him the Infinity Gauntlet, with several of the stones giving him the power of a god. In a scene where Ultron is talking to Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, he tells her the following.
There were more than a dozen extinction-level events before even the dinosaurs got theirs. When the Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. And believe me, he's winding up.
When we first heard this comment, it didn't mean anything at the time. We might have even thought that it was his final plans for Sokovia. But now, with Thanos, we understand that perhaps Ultron was referring to him, a god causing a mass extinction. This also adds to another prophecy that Ultron said that Wanda would cause the dividing of the Avengers, something that is fulfilled in later films. But how does Ultron have knowledge of Thanos, or of Wanda's future? The secret lies in the origin of the AI. Even though it is an artificial intelligence, it was not entirely created by Tony Stark. Much of Ultron belonged to the scepter, and the most important fact of all this is that the scepter carried the Mind Stone, which means that Ultron's essence was linked to the stone for which belonged to Thanos. Therefore, we cannot rule out that Ultron had a notion of Thanos from the future. Perhaps the scepter somehow stored information of the Titan, because after all, it did contain an artificial intelligence. Maybe for this reason, Ultron seemed worried because he believed that humans could not help him stop Thanos. His mission to find vibranium and have a suit made out of it was to use it against the Titan, because literally he would be the world's last hope. But what about Scarlet Witch? How could Ultron know that Wanda would cause the Avengers to separate? Ultron had contact with the Mind Stone, so perhaps he had a vision of the future, which is why he tells Vision that the humans were condemned. Why would Ultron say this if he did not already knew of the imminent danger that was approaching? It would not be the first time that someone linked or exposed to the Mind Stone has had visions of the future. But how does this make any sense? How can the Mind Stone show the future? Shouldn't it be the Time Stone that is capable of this? What would you think if I told you that that assumption is incorrect? The Mind Stone was responsible for Wanda's powers, which in turn gave her the ability to show the future to both Thor and Iron Man. If Wanda can show the Avengers the future thanks to the abilities given to her by the Mind Stone, then it could also affect Ultron since his essence was in Loki's scepter. This is probably what Ultron meant when he said that there are no strings attached. Perhaps the puppeteer who kept him prisoner was Thanos in the scepter. Ultron has faced Thanos more than once in animated series and comics. Maybe it was his destiny to confront the Titan, but in the MCU, it was not meant to be. Given the amount of new characters and stories that can happen in future MCU films, the possibility of Ultron returning is very low because he was not a fan favorite of the films. One last clue can be found in Ultron's plan. His last words towards Vision was that humanity was condemned. If Ultron knew that humanity was doomed, why did the AI want to destroy them? He knew that it would happen eventually. It doesn't make any sense. Neither was his desire to build an unbreakable body in order to fulfill his goals, which was to bring peace. Ultron knew of Thanos' plans. The Avengers are like marionettes, controlled by invisible strings, and that in the end, he would be the world's last hope. Tell me what you think about this theory. Do you think that Ultron was really preparing himself to fight Thanos, or was he just an out-of-control artificial intelligence? That's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a marvelous day.